Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Alana. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm in Northern Virginia, and I'm just going to welcome you right in here to be with me for our class today. And so, Courtney, do you want me to go ahead and get started then? And whoever comes in, I mean, it's going to be recorded anyway, right? So
yeah, it will be recorded, but let's
want to give it a few minutes?
Yeah, like a couple minutes, I guess.
We will. Okay. We'll give it, yeah, until you just let me know and then we can get started.
Okay, I saw a few other people. Oh, see, here somebody showed up. We got one more.
Good, okay. Oh, I see.
Hi, Sue. Welcome. We're waiting on a few more people, see if anybody else shows up. We've got a small class today.
Great, thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Alana and I were having a very interesting discussion about A2 milk while we were waiting on people.
Indeed. Are you all familiar with A2 versus A1 milk? Anybody about that? No.
I'm not.
It's the difference in the a particular protein in different breeds of cows. And A2 milk was actually the original milk that we had before different crossbreeding occurred. So I think it was mainly like Jersey cows, for example, and I think Guernsey, but not Holstein cows. But I don't repeat me on that one because I may have that wrong. Although I do know Jersey cows are ones that typically produce A2 milk. But the difference is that A2 milk is a lot easier for people to handle. It's a gentler milk. So people who have different allergies and problems with regular milk that you go to the store and buy often just do perfectly fine with A2 milk. And so it's kind of cool. If you're interested, it's something fun to look up, like the difference between the A1 beta casein and the A2. Oh my goodness, look at, we are up to 10 participants now. So welcome everyone.
All right, Alana, I guess go ahead and get started.
Okay, I will do that. So let's see here. Maybe we can, I'm gonna just lean this down. I wanna make sure you guys can see everything I'm working on here. So you tell me, let's see here. Does that look okay? Yes or no? We're good. I got a thumbs up there. Okay, good. So I just want to say welcome everyone. Welcome to my kitchen. You are joining me on a kind of a rainy, drizzly day here in Northern Virginia in Fairfax County. And we are going to be making a really cool, fun, and simple couple of dishes here that I think you'll like. The first thing we're going to do are kick-spiced mini turkey muffins. And we like these recipes because these are fun ways to use our new condiments that we have at Pure Indian Foods. One is our organic Worcestershire sauce that's so delicious. And the other is the Kit ketchup, which is a nice spicy ketchup. And these are really nice condiments because they use all certified organic ingredients, but also instead of just dumping a lot of white sugar into them, we've used an unrefined jaggery, which is actually a nutritious sweetener. And we've used just enough, but not too much. So we think you'll appreciate that. So, all right, here's how we're gonna get started. And Courtney, you have linked, or everybody has links to the recipes on the website. Is that right?
I put them in the invite, but if you want, I can go ahead and just drop them in the chat as well.
Sure, yeah, so they can follow along or go to the website after the class and get the recipes, whatever you want to do. But we're going to start here with the mini turkey muffins. And this is just a really fun recipe, and it's also good. Children like it. And I went ahead and put just one egg, you can see, into a bowl. I whipped it in there, just kind of stirred it with a fork. And on top of that, I just put like just a pound of some turkey breast. Okay. And this, I'm sorry, some ground turkey. This is not breast. This is just the dark turkey. And this is the Coke's turkey, but you can use the breast if you want. And I'm just going to mix it all up together. And I'm actually going to get it in there. Now, I like to add an egg to this because it gives it just kind of a nice, good texture. And I don't put any breading in this at all. But of course you could if you wanted to, but it holds together beautifully without adding any breadcrumbs or anything else. Now, sometimes if I wanted to use something like that in a different recipe, I will buy like, just like the organic little potato flakes at like a health food store that have no preservatives or chemicals. And I will use those in place of breadcrumbs, or I'll make my own breadcrumbs, and you can do gluten-free or regular and put those in as well. But again, this is really a good recipe, especially if you're kind of keeping an eye on your carbs. It would be keto, but it's not paleo because there is some jaggery in the condiments. But the carbohydrate level is going to be quite low. Okay, so now this is really well incorporated. And if anybody has any questions, you can put those in the chat and Courtney will tell me, or you could just unmute yourself and ask, because I'm very informal. Okay, got that all mixed together, as you can see. Okay, so to this, I'm going to add some condiments and some additionals that I want to have, okay? So I'm going to start by adding about a half a tablespoon of some Worcestershire sauce. That is not always easy to say, but it's fun. I'm going to put a half a tablespoon in there. And I'm going to add to that half a teaspoon of salt. I use the Himalayan pink salt, which is a really good quality salt. I'm going to also add some black pepper, just as much as I want, and you can, of course, do the same. Now, none of these ingredient amounts are ever set in stone. Of course, you can do anything you want. You could add any other kind of condiment. You can even add the ketchup if you wanted to, right into the meat mix here. Okay. You could also add a teaspoon of mustard if you wanted to, or some tamari soy sauce if you prefer that. So however you want to get creative is fine. So I like to just add a little bit of some kind of little vegetable or something. I'm going to put some grated carrots in there and some chopped up leek, which I love. And it just gives it a little bit of something extra, adds a little texture. You don't have to do that at all. You could just skip it and just make the muffins. And depending on your own muffin, your muffin pans, you could get 10 or 12 muffins out of this. Or, you know, you could make them a little bit bigger if you wanted to and get, you know, 6 or 8. That's entirely up to you as well. So, okay, I think this is just about right. So I've included some extras that you might want to use. You could add some garlic or some onion to this if you wanted to. Cumin or coriander, you know, some dried chives or fresh chives, parsley. I am actually going to sprinkle a little bit of parsley over the top anyway before I bake them. But I am ready now to put them into my pan. So what I've got, I have put some ghee into my pans. Okay, get those out here for you. And just some original ghee. There you go. I'll show you just this right here. There you go. You can see that. The original ghee. And it's funny, I just kind of ran out of my other jar of ghee. And I like how when you get it and it's new, you get all kinds of different textures to it. So some of it is melty and some of it is kind of grainy when it's new. It's so cool. So you can just use a little bit that's melted right in there. But it might not come melted depending on the weather or where it's been in your house. But okay, so now I'm just going to take a scoop and I'm just going to scoop it in there and just like that.
Hey, Alana,
Yeah,
I want to chime in about ghee texture for a minute
please do.
because I was asking Sandeep why there's so many different textures. And of course, we know there's a lot of different fatty acids in the ghee, but he said that the rate at which the ghee is cooled affects the texture, like prior to shipping it, no matter what the weather is. Like if it's really cold, it's going to solidify anyway. But
That's so cool.
like
Oh, no pun
said
intended,
that-
Courtney.
he said when they put it in jars and they're cooling it, the ones that are in the middle, they have more heat for longer, so they're cooling a lot slower. So
Oh.
they end up being more liquidy, but the ones that cool rapidly are more solidified, and the ones in the middle have a mix. So it just depends on the rate of it cooling. But because it depends on the rate of cooling, if you'd have it at home and you like melt it and then you rapidly cool it in the fridge, then you can take it out of the fridge, it'll stay solid on the counter.
Okay, oh my goodness, that's so cool. Well, there you go.
But if you melt it and you wrap it in a towel and you let it cool down like very slowly, it will be more liquidy. So it's kind of like
Right.
customizable.
That's really neat. Ghee is one of those interesting things. And you know what I really love about ghee is how easy it is to travel with it.
Yeah.
You know, you can put it in a small jar and just take it because it doesn't need that refrigeration and it's stable. So you can take it. So, okay, what I've got here is, this came out to be 11, haha, right between 10 and 12 for me, but I'm actually going to make it into 12. So the ones that are a little bit full, I'm just going to even it out with a little bit. Like here, this one could give up a teaspoon or half a teaspoon, and there you go, this one. And then I'll have a perfect dozen of these. There we go. And let's see, this one looks a little bit fuller too. So I'll add that. And I think, whoop, there we go. All right, that should do it. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. This is the Kit ketchup again. There you go. And I'm just going to get a spoon and I'm going to put the Kit ketchup. Actually, I'm going to kind of flatten these down a little bit with the spoon.
Now you're using in this recipe our Worcestershire sauce and the ketchup,
Yes.
which you helped develop.
Yes.
Can you tell us what makes them a little bit different? Start with the Worcestershire.
Well, the Worcestershire sauce, I actually grew up on Worcestershire sauce, believe it or not. And it was my father's very favorite sauce, you know. And in this particular sauce, we keep it vegan. We don't add anchovies, which is actually fermented anchovies, which were the hallmark of the original Worcestershire sauce. And we, instead of adding that, what we've done is add just a bit of something called hing, which is an asafoetida, but we use a fenugreek hing in this. So it's a mild kind of a hing, which gives a little bit, it's a very subtle flavor of like an onion flavor. But we also use jaggery, which is really like how would you describe it? It's a richer than brown sugar, caramely, wonderful, a little bit goes a long way, nourishing sweetener that's very important actually in Ayurveda. What's that?
I said it's sugar with depth.
With depth. Yeah, there you go.
Got a lot of flavor. I mean, jaggery is just the cane sugar juice that's been reduced and reduced and reduced and reduced until it turns into like caramel, and then it dries and it becomes this hard block, but it's delicious.
It
It has
is.
a lot of flavor. It's not just sweet.
It's just ideal. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to sweeten things, but also to get the nourishment. And in Ayurveda, the jaggery is actually an ideal sort of a balancer, way to bring balance or stability into the diet for the vata dosha in particular, because sometimes that vata dosha can get out of balance in people. And when it's out of balance, it's more like, oh gosh, excitability, nervousness, not sleeping well. It's got, irregular patterns and things. And so I have just finished up one jar of the ketchup. I'm going to open the other here. See, thank goodness I got these. Now, Courtney. All right, so, all right, now what I'm going to do, so you can all see here, I didn't touch the meat on the spoon before, but I'm going to do that now. And I'm just going to spread the ketchup, which has this chipotle morita in it. So it's a wonderful, very, again, smoky, deep flavor. It's got kick to it without a doubt. So if you don't like this too much spice, you can actually mix like half of this with a good organic ketchup, and that would be fine too. So I'm just going to put my final, there you go, amount of jaggery on that muffin, and I'm going to show you what they look like. There you go. They're not perfect, but it's homemade cooking, and that's all it counts. All right, now I'm going to take some parsley right here. Hopefully you can see a bit of what I'm doing. Just going to sprinkle a little bit right on the top, and I'll show you. So I've got 12 of these. Now, just in case, you can put like a cookie sheet underneath if they should spill over. But when they're low enough, that doesn't usually happen. Can you see that okay, guys? Courtney, can you see it okay? Good. All right, I'm going to stick these in the oven. It's preheated to 375. I'm going to do that right now. And we're going to cook these for a good 30 minutes. There we go. So I'm going to set a timer. Good. Okay. So now we have those in the oven, and we can work on our next recipe. But I did want to also say about the ketchup that this is something that is delicious if you like the spice. I'm going to bring you up here so you can see me again. If you like the spice, this is great like in marinades and dips and, like I said, meatloaf and stuff like that. It's also good with just things like French fries. It's really delicious. And again, I'll just tell you, this is made with jaggery, which is like an Indian unrefined brown sugar that is so rich and caramely. And then it's got the chipotle morita chili and some Kashmiri red chili in it. It's also got garlic, cumin, cacao. So I added just that little bit of cocoa powder when I was kind of making it up, and then cinnamon, coriander as well. So yum, right? Okay, now the Worcestershire sauce.
Wait, Alana, wait.
Okay.
I wanted to say, I've been mixing the ketchup with mayonnaise.
I do that too.
Because it is really spicy. I mean, I used to have a higher tolerance for pepper, and I know you do, but it's like too spicy for me these days. So I've been mixing it with mayonnaise, and it's a little bit
like no,
more
I
mild.
that too. Yeah.
And
So
then I don't know if you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you tried it with the tamarind date chutney, but like blending the tamarind date chutney together with the ketchup and putting it on fried potatoes is.
Oh my gosh, that sounds wonderful. No, I will try that. I have a date with tamarind in my my refrigerator.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's a funny thing, like certain kinds of spices, like the chipotle is better for me than like a Thai red chili. And I stay clear away from like ghost pepper because all I have to really do is look at that and it causes like diaphragm spasms. So yeah.
The ghost pepper hot sauce though is less spicy than the Kit ketchup.
See, interesting. Okay.
So you should try the hot sauce. The
Yeah.
hot sauce is good. It's sweeter though. You could make a recipe with that and do another lunch with hot sauce sometime, but it's like tropical. I don't know.
Telling me that. Okay. Well, so the Kit ketchup truly has the kick is then. Okay, good. All right. So while these are cooking, we're actually going to make our salad here in just a second and the dressing. But I want to see if anybody has any questions or comments or thoughts about anything so far. So please, Courtney, something just popped up. It says remove spotlight. Do you know what that means?
Don't click it. I have you spotlighted so everyone can see your video.
Oh, okay. I was about to remove it.
Don't do that.
All right. Anybody have any thoughts or questions about anything so far? Anything?
It could be anything random too. It could be unrelated. We're just hanging out with Alana while she makes lunch. So
I just want to say that in terms of these, I wrote down a few notes about the little mini muffins. They would be definitely helpful, obviously for the Vata dosha. But also if you're familiar with Ayurveda and you know that you are primarily a particular kind of dosha, or if you feel like you have an imbalance in one of the different doshas, dosha meaning body types, then you can adjust your recipes and menus to fit that or support your body coming back into balance. So these, as I've made them, Vata dosha will be good. Also good for the Kapha dosha. The spice is good, and the Kapha dosha can use ground turkey breast instead of a dark meat turkey. And then Pitta dosha might want to mix the Kit ketchup, even though they tend to like spicier foods. Pitta dosha does sometimes. Mix it with a little bit of regular organic ketchup, so it's not quite so spicy and does not aggravate Pitta dosha. And then they can also use turkey breast. And if you do use the breast, it's not as juicy as the ground dark meat. So what you could do is add like, a tablespoon of olive oil to, or half a tablespoon even. Yes, they do. They freeze very well. Thank you, Sue. You can add some olive oil to your meatloaf and your egg. And that really helps it, to give it a nice juicier flavor too. It's delicious. So, it's also perfect for the winter and cold weather, for wintertime and also for the fall. They're warming. They are definitely carb controlled. So they don't provide a lot of carbohydrate for the body, but they make great blood sugar balancers. If you're like, oh gosh, I'm really hungry or I've had a lot of carbs today or whatever, and you need some protein, if they're in the freezer, like Sue was just saying, you know what, just grab one out, you can heat it up pretty quickly. So they help to bring blood sugar balance and stability. They also make just a great protein snack, or you could turn them, of course, into a meal. Kids, they're kid friendly. If the kick spice ketchup is too much for the kids, you can again mix it with something else or use just regular organic ketchup. That's fine too. And then they are easy to pack if you're going to travel. You can take them too, that would be good too. Obviously they're meat, so you might want to put them like in a container with an ice pack or something if you're going to be going a long way. But those are some ideas. So anybody else have anything to say in the chat or anything, or any questions? Are we good on that, Courtney?
Actually, I have a question. You were mentioning the jaggery to balance, I think it was Vata.
Yes.
Is it jaggery specifically or just sweet foods in general, like sweet potatoes?
Yeah. It is the sweet. It is the sweet in general. The jaggery is something though that you could take just literally just a knife, a little paring knife, and get just like 1 teaspoon, just cut it off and suck on it. And that can help to calm jaggery like that, you know. But jaggery needs that sweet taste like it needs the sour taste too. So, and for balance. So it's not just jaggery, it's a variety of sweet things, even a little, you know, a bite of a cookie, you know, that has jaggery and ghee in it, or butter, is balancing to the vata dosha, but not so much to kapha dosha, right? That's could increase too much of it. A little bit is okay. Too much could then increase the kapha imbalance and put weight or congestion onto the person. So everybody needs something differently. Now, one thing about Ayurveda, there are certain things like ghee, which is a perfect balancing act for all of the doshas, but in varying amounts, right? So pitta dosha, ghee is cooling and calming. Vata dosha, ghee is stabilizing and grounding. Kapha dosha, little bit is just right to create balance, but too much creates excess girth. Avoirdupois, as they might say in France, right? So it's just how you use it, but not that you don't use certain things, because regardless of dosha, ghee is going to be that one thing that really helps to carry the properties, for example, of medicinal herbs into the cells, right? Or nutrition into the cells. So you don't want to go without it, but different bodies need different amounts. It's like Courtney and I were having a conversation about before you all joined us about the different body types and how, you know, some people do well, you know, they can just do so well on a keto diet or a vegan diet, just literally at extreme opposites. And the rest of us might fall somewhere in between, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, too much fat can be, you know, I am primarily pitta dosha, but I also have to watch that kapha for me too. So, you know, for me, the kapha balancing diet with all of the spices and stuff would really upset my digestion and pitta dosha, which I have primarily. So I have to be careful and balance it out that way. So yes, pitta dosha. There you go. So about that.
You have a question in the chat as well. Just whenever you're done, I wanted to make you aware.
I'm done.
Gigi asked, I'm vegan. Could I make this recipe with lentils?
Oh, yes. And tofu too. Yes, you sure can. I have mashed tofu and done this kind of thing. You can do lentils. And if you're vegetarian, you might include an egg, which will help to hold the lentils together. And that sounds wonderful. I love doing things like that too. And pitta dosha and kapha dosha benefit by vegetarian foods as well as some meats, but pitta dosha in particular can use some vegetarian foods and lentils in their diet too, because pitta tends to have a bit of an oily quality, slippery, oily quality to it, and the legumes like the lentils and other kinds of dal or beans are dry. They're drying in nature, so they can help to dry up that pitta oiliness and also to dry up the dampness that internally constitutes that kapha dosha, right? The kapha is like the combination of earth and water, you know, so it can help to dry that up as well. Yeah. More questions? Anything else? Any other thoughts or comments?
How can you tell or guess, I guess, how can you guess what sort of dosha you are for people that don't know their dosha? You know, Courtney, there are online tests that you can take that are free and fun. And in fact, on the recent recipes that I put on the website about, what kind of a breakfast you should eat. Remember those? They went up weeks ago. On each of those, like it's like what's for breakfast, and I did one for Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and right there on it, there's a link to a wonderful Ayurveda website where you can do a free dosha test, and it will give you information on what your dosha is. In general,
Vata dosha tends to be, and remember that we are usually combinations of 2 and sometimes 3 dosha, okay? But Vata dosha tends to be light, thin, quick, mentally quick, like Mercury, like Quicksilver. They tend to have erratic patterns of behavior, erratic sleep, erratic eating, erratic bathroom habits, nervous energy, right? Movement is key to the Vata dosha, key to that particular dosha being active. Movement. They tend to have a lot of wind in the belly, gas, excessive gas production at times in the belly. The Pitta dosha is the fiery dosha. Blonde hair, red hair, strawberry blonde hair, which, all my life has been me. Freckles, indicating excess pitta or fire in the body. Quick digestion, and needs to eat 3 or more meals a day, or 3 meals and 1 or 2 snacks every day, and can't go to bed hungry. I'm just telling you my own self here, right? That is Pitta dosha. And Pitta dosha, green eyes like me, blue eyes like me. And that is classic. Now, you can have a person from India who is also Pitta dosha, and sometimes you'll see darker skinned people manifesting Pitta because they'll have little darker moles on their skin, or they'll have a tendency toward indigestion, which again, if I do all that spicy food, it's too much for my stomach. The sour taste really inflames the Pitta. So a lot of vinegar is not good. In moderation, it's going to be fine, or balanced out by something else that's cooling. So the Pitta dosha is usually a medium build. They're quick in their thoughts and quick in their speech, and they can have a pretty sharp, fiery tongue if they're not balanced out by something else. They can be a little cutting or hurtful, or just a very super enthusiastic, but they're very sharp brained. As is actually all of the doshas, but the Kapha dosha, the intelligence of the Kapha dosha is thoughtful and sort of how do I want to say this? Kapha dosha is structure and groundedness. It's a jolliness and a happiness and a stability that the other 2 doshas tend to want to strive for more. The intelligence of the Kapha dosha is very grounded, well thought out, considered. They are much more likely to think about something before they just blurt it out like a Pitta dosha might, and they tend to be on the heavier side. They tend to have congestion issues, could be like anything from sinus problems to maybe more joint issues that indicate dampness in the body, right? The Kapha dosha is, again, grounded by structure, but think of the elements of the earth and water combining together and you get a thicker mud. Now, mud can be actually very good. It can be filled with wonderful organisms and things that give life to plants and everything. It's not a bad thing at all, but it's a heavier, slower, whereas Pitta is fire, and you put oil on the fire and it flames up, right? And Vata dosha is movement and air and wind and that kind of thing. So
Alana,
hopefully that helps us a little bit. Yeah, Courtney.
I can tell you're Pitta because you're so fired up right now.
I'm Pitta, but I also have Kapha dosha, not as much, but it's there. So I have to be careful of too much fatty foods and oily foods. And I also I've noticed, once I got a little bit older, that Vata dosha is normal. When you get older, it's more, you have to take care of more Vata imbalances, which is, Vata is associated with dryness too. Dry skin, dry hair. Kapha is oily. Pitta is fiery and hot, and sometimes rashes on Pitta dosha. But I never really had too much of that because of the other kapha. So anything else? Hopefully that's not confusing, but it'll be fun for you to go and take that test.
Mhm.
Any other comments?
I don't see any others. Are you making the salad today?
Indeed.
Okay, I'll post the link.
There you go. We had to stop for some fun talk, right? Here's our salad. Okay, so we are going to make a winter salad with pears and walnuts that I've roasted and some Mango-Primal dressing. It's a primal oil we're going to use, which is so lovely. It's got the Sacha Inchi oil in it, and it's also got black seed oil and olive oil. And oh my goodness, it is wonderful. That black seed oil is really kind of herbaceous and zesty, and you can taste the antioxidants. It's wonderful. So I'm starting out with some leafy greens. I've got some really locally grown butter lettuce that comes right from not far away from me. And I have got some radicchio, which I love. It's got a nice bitter flavor, which bitter is perfect for pitta dosha. And it's a beautiful color. So I'm just going to add that to my mix here, this beautiful radicchio. One thing I like to do with radicchio, by the way, is cut it into halves or quarters and grill it on in my cast iron skillet. It's just wonderful. Just a little bit of like garlic ghee in the pan, spread over it, and boom, grill it on that. I looked for red radishes, but oddly, my store didn't have any. So I have here a purple daikon radish that I bought. So I'm going to use that instead, doesn't matter. Okay. And the radish is a nice astringent and pungent kind of a vegetable to add. So all of these things just add good nutrition. I've got a pear that I cut up here. This is Bosque pear that I'm adding to that. It's a nice firm pear. Okay. So it's going to hold its shape really well and be a little bit crunchy. I like that for certain dishes. Okay, good. So put that in there. And then I'm going to put also in this some chopped walnuts. Now, you can just get some walnuts and roast them at a pretty low temperature. I wouldn't go more than about 300 degrees. And then until they're just roasted how you like them. But what I often do is, because I have a dehydrator here, is I'll soak the nuts overnight, and then I'll put them in my dehydrator. And then after they're soaked and dehydrated, I'll lightly roast them in the oven, you know. But again, it's entirely up to you what you want to do. So there you go. So now I've got a nice colorful salad right there, right? We always want to eat a lot of color, because then you know that you're eating a lot of these plant compounds that are protective and boosting for our immune systems. And also eating these colors is kind of a miracle, because we eat all of these dark, you know, red, purple colors. We eat blueberries and purple potatoes and dark leafy greens, and our body just beautifully absorbs these colors. It's just wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside right now and bring over some other ingredients, because we're gonna make a salad dressing here, okay? So pull all of this over here. All right, and I'm just going to take a quick peek and see what's going on. So we've still got about 9 minutes left before I pull out the little mini meatloaves there. So we're going to make this. So I want to make sure you can see this good. So if anybody can't see anything, do let me know right away. Okay, so this is our zesty mango dressing. Now I'm going to show you, we're using the wonderful Alfonso mango puree. Now this one has an upside down label, but I'm going to turn it up so you can see it. It's the Alfonso mango puree. There you go. And it is, the Alfonso mangoes are known as the king of mangoes in India. They are just very low acid. They're so sweet. They're absolutely amazing. They're so good. So we're going to use that, and then also some olive oil, some extra virgin olive oil in equal amounts. I'm sorry, primal oil, and then some olive oil. So I'm going to start first with my primal oil. I'm gonna do a quarter of a cup of each of these and then add a little bit of olive oil. So I'm gonna do the olive oil first because then the mango will just slip out. So this is the very last. I'm running out of my primal oil, but I ordered another one and I've got it open right here. So there we go. And I'm just gonna put a quarter of a cup of this. There we go. And I can even smell that fresh, herby, wonderful, wonderful smell there from the zesty black seed oil. I'm going to add my mango puree right there. Put that in there. Okay. Just good. All right. And let me just put this aside and actually let me run and get my, here we go. Forgot to get my wire whisk and get it out here. All right, so I'm going to get those two mixed up for a second, blend them. And now I'm going to add just a couple of tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil to this. Okay, and that's going to kind of blend it out well too. Just a couple tablespoons of that. There you go. These are very nutritious oils. Okay. All right.
What's the proportion of the 369 omegas in the primal oil?
Oh, I don't know offhand. I'd have to look and see. Let me read the back and I'll tell you if it gives some sort of a clue. I know that it will be more, it will be higher on the omega 9 and omega, let's see, extra virgin olive oil, that's omega 9. The sacha inchi oil is also more like an omega 9 monounsaturated. The cumin seed oil, I believe, may have omega 3 and 6 or omega 6 and 9 in it, but I would have to double check on that. So it's going to have a high proportion of monounsaturated fats. Yes, it does actually. It has 10 grams of monounsaturated and just a little bit, 2 grams of the polyunsaturated and only 2 grams of saturated fat. So it's primarily going to be omega 9, but not entirely. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and offhand, I can't remember. Is avocado oil, what omega is that?
That would be omega 9, just like olive oil.
Okay.
Yeah, no, these are good questions. Okay, good. Yeah, and all right, so we're good on this now. Okay, you know, the truth is that when you have the omega 3 oils or even anything omega 6, if it's an unrefined kind of thing, you know, you really don't want to be using a lot of seed oils, just to be quite frank with you, you know, but certain kinds of oils like flaxseed or whatever that have the high omega 3 should always be used cold and raw, right? Never cooked with any of them at all. So anyway, you guys probably already knew that, but it does bear repeating. All right, now I'm going to add some freshly squeezed lemon juice to this, and you can add as much or as little as you want. I'll probably add 1 or 2 teaspoons to this, and then I'm going to taste it. So this is half a teaspoon, and there's 1 teaspoon. Probably going to end up being a couple of teaspoons, but we'll see. I'm also going to add some prepared mustard to this, and I like a Grey Poupon, a Dijon mustard. So I'm going to put in that just like a teaspoon or so. And the mustard has a pretty good amount of salt in it, so I might not add salt to this, and I'll know after I taste it. Okay, good. And I'm going to add a little bit of white wine vinegar. So let me do that. And just maybe a teaspoon or 2 of this. A couple teaspoons is probably going to be, we'll see, 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to skip the salt for now. I'm going to add some some organic dried parsley to this. You can add fresh if you want or dried. Sometimes I like to put fresh herbs directly into my salad and some dried herbs into my salad dressing. Okay, so let me just drip a little bit of that onto my hump. Okay, that is so good that I might just leave it as it is. Actually, I might add a little bit more of the lemon juice, just a little bit more. Here, let's do it this way. This is freshly squeezed lemon, so it's actually got some pulp in it. All right, very good. Now I'm going to add some black pepper to it. It doesn't need salt in my view because it's got plenty from the mustard. All right, so let's try this again. It's very good. Okay, I love it. So that is perfect for me. And now, I'll show you what I'm going to do here. All right, so we're going to plate this up. Ooh, we're going to pull those out in just 2 minutes too, okay? So I'm going to grab a bowl here. Here, we'll do this. I think this is pretty enough to feed myself for lunch. Yeah. Good. So I'm going to get some salad in here. Okay. There we go. All right, so grab some, there we go. Get plenty of walnuts on that and some of these gorgeous greens. Like that. Some of this yummy, these pears and radicchio. Sometimes they fall to the bottom, don't they? There. All right, I think this will be fine. Here. All right, so now I'm just gonna put some dressing on that. And you'll see what it's like, and it'll make enough for you to save that salad in the fridge, and then you can put the dressing aside and just drizzle it on as you want it. You know, so go with, you know, always start with the least amount of whatever first, right? So like in the recipe, I'm calling for like 2 to 3 teaspoons of lemon juice, 2 of the white wine vinegar, and 1 teaspoon of your mustard. You know, if you think, I don't know, I'm pitta dosha, maybe I shouldn't have too much sour food, go less. These are just, you know, not set in stone. So whatever, you know, you feel like you need, or you might like a lot, you know, and want to go for like a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice and skip the vinegar. Entirely up to you. But there you go. So now, there you go. You can see. Uh-oh, sorry, I didn't put that down. Can you see okay? Does that look good? Okay. All right. Time to pull these out. So I'm just going to grab those now. Ah, perfect. Okay, so look at that.
Your
Yummy.
timing just now was impeccable.
Was it not? I know. Oh my gosh, perfect. Oh, they smell so good. Yum. All right, so these are our wonderful turkey muffins. Now, they're quite hot, but I'm gonna still pull them out. You know, I'll just put like some on a plate here so you can see what they look like when I pull them out here. So I'll just move this behind here. There we go. All right, and this aside. Okay, so let's get these out. All right, let's see. Oh, they're so cute. They're really cute. Look how cute and hot. There, so pull them out here. There you go. And this makes just a nice little lunch. Of course, you could add something else to it if you wanted to. You wanted to add some rice or some crusty sourdough bread or whatever you want to do. Okay, get one more out there. Here. There. Okay, there you go. So you've got now our 2 recipes. There you go. How's that? I hope it's something that you'll try.
It looks delicious.
Oh, good. All right, I'm gonna pull this back up and take any final questions or thoughts or anything at all. Oh, these smell really good. Mm. If you're not sure if they're done, just grab a meat thermometer. It's poultry. You want it to be a good 170 centigrade. No, Fahrenheit. I was going to say not centigrade. So anybody, any thoughts, comments, anything at all? What do you think, Joyce? I can see you.
Looks great. I've done that similar dressing myself. It's my favorite thing. I love it. I love putting that mango into the salad dressing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mango. And my little, my 4-year-old nephew, since he's been 3 years old, when he comes over to visit me, he likes to open the jar and get a spoon. He wants to sit with it alone with a spoon and eat mango puree. He's so cute.
Well, it's nice too because the fresh fruit isn't in season and I've had some unhappy purchases.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Anybody, thank you. Anybody else, any comments or questions or thoughts about anything at all?
Oh,
They
it
look
looks
great.
delicious.
I'm going to try both. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. All right, well, I guess
Oh,
this
I
is
just have one quick question.
sure.
Oh yeah, I'm in the blog link, and I was just looking for the website you mentioned for doing the self test for what dosha type.
Yeah.
And I'm not finding it. Can you point me?
So yeah, so it would be, and Courtney could probably send you a link. In the it's the breakfast is what's for it. The blog is what's for breakfast. And it's there at the end of each of those blogs. It should link or telling you if it's not a link, it should be telling you where you can find it. Do you see that, Courtney?
I'm looking for it. I don't think it's very obvious because I'm not seeing it.
Huh.
Do you remember what site it was? I can post a link if you tell me.
Wait, the link that you posted has it. You just have to put in the search bar, what's for breakfast, and it comes up.
Let me go there while I'm talking to you guys, okay? And I will find that here. Because I put it in there and let me see.
Yeah, I see the kapha and the pitta. I
There we
don't
go.
see the vata, but it's there.
Huh, all right. I'm so sorry.
Well, just
We'll
I
make
don't
sure you
see
have it for
the link
sure.
to the quiz is all I'm saying.
Recipe. Right. I thought I mentioned in the post, it might not be a link. It might just be mentioning that they have it. Let me go here. What's for breakfast? Okay, let's see.
I found one. I'm just gonna post in here a link to a dosha quiz. Oh, whoops. You know what? That's not the whole link. There we go. There it is.
Oh, you know what, Courtney? For some reason, it's not in there, and I don't know why. I'm so sorry, you guys.
That's okay. I found a few online, so I'm posting them in the chat. There's so many.
I thought I had put this in here. Well, let me see.
Here's another one.
Huh.
Don't worry about it. We can find it later and we can add it to the blogs.
And I even posted these on Instagram, and I tagged the Ayurveda company that I used. Pitta types. No, it's not in here. I don't know how I screwed that up, but I'm so sorry. But I will do it. I will add it.
Oh, so I thought she was saying, where is the article for what's for breakfast? Because that is there.
Yeah, the articles are here, but I thought I had put, let me see if I did it on Vantadosh. Made reference to the location where you can take a really good and fun, easy test. But I don't see it in here. And I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. Because
Alana, it's fine. We'll
Please.
find it later. We'll post it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I got an email reply from someone today that was supposed to reply to somebody else.
later.
Happens. It just happened.
Actually, you know what? Here, I can do it right here. I posted it on later, and I'll tell you what the company is. Because I posted links to each of these with the companies. Okay. So we'll tell you. All right, let's see. Okay. That out of the way. All right. Let's see. There we go. It's not
What the-
not coming up very well. Yeah. Okay, Courtney. Well, I guess we'll just, are you there?
Yeah,
It's going to take too long to go through it on my iPad. So
right. That's what I'm saying. We'll post it later.
add those today. I'll add those right after I finish here. I'll add the link to those articles. I'm so sorry again, but we're good. Anybody else have anything at all?
Just
I don't-
wish we could eat lunch with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to do another class, I think, on Tuesday next week. We're going to do like a really fast chickpea curry. Well, it's going to be we're going to do a vegetarian menu, just chickpea curries that day, and some a really nice like spicy rice dish, a basmati rice with cardamom and bay leaf and stuff. So maybe you can join us for that too. So don't forget though, check back in a little while. Literally, I'm going to run upstairs and add that as soon as we go here. So, okay.
I have one quick question.
Sure.
Okay, so I've started one of the dosha quizzes.
Yeah.
And I'm closing in on 60. And so what I would have answered a lot of these questions 20, even 10 years ago would be different than what I'd answer them now. What age do you go with when you answer these?
You really should answer, quite frankly, there should be two tests given, one for your basic constitution and one for what might be an imbalance in the now. But when you're taking that kind of a test where there really is just that one, answer for now. Answer
Okay.
for what's going on now. And that will give you a fine information because it will address whatever is happening or if there's an imbalance now. So, Courtney, what is the company that you linked to? I'm curious.
There's several, but the one I'm on is it's PAAVAN Ayurveda.com.
Avani Ayurveda.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I linked to 3 different ones. I did Pavani Ayurveda, Chopra, and One World Ayurveda.
I think that's the one I linked to or did link to in posting is One World Ayurveda.
One World, that's the one that I took before I recognized the website.
Yeah, I feel like it's One World Ayurveda. That's it. That's the one. But again, I'm going to put that, into I'll put that onto the What's for Breakfast blogs too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate everything. It's just been so much fun. These are always like fun, and I love to welcome you all like into my kitchen.
If you guys take the Ayurveda test and then join us again on Tuesday. If you have any questions then, Alana will be there again, so.
I'll answer what I can.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys.
Thank
Ah.
you.
We'll post the replay on the on our YouTube channel. And then I'm also posting, if you go to our website, Pure Indian Foods, and go down to the footer, it says Ayurvedic Zoom webinars. That is the landing page for all of the past webinars and the future webinars. If you're looking for links to all of them, they're all on that one page. So just, you can find it in the footer of our site if you ever, are curious where to get the links.
There you
Right.
go.
See you guys later. Thanks,
Cool.
Alana.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Francois. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.